Thank you for stopping by to this channel and clicking on this video. I'm guessing you clicked on this video because you're interested in teaching abroad or you're interested in teaching in Vietnam. Today is November 22nd, 2019, and I'm currently in Bien Hoa, Vietnam. And I really hope this video helps you. The first step to finding a job abroad is going online and looking at different websites. One website is called Dave's ESL. That's where I found my job here in Vietnam. Once you apply, you go into an online interview with a recruiter, and then they'll let you know if you're accepted or rejected. Once you're accepted, they'll send you all the documents that you need to have in order to get a visa. For Vietnam specifically, you need a bachelor's degree, you need a TOEFL certificate, and you need a background check. Once you get all of those documents, you have to get them apostilled. You either go, if you're from America, you go to the State Department and you get it apostilled. After you get it apostilled, you have to send it to the Vietnamese embassy to get it legalized. Once you have all those steps, then you can come into Vietnam with your documents. You give it in to the recruitment here, the HR department, and they'll handle your visa. Another way is you can get all of your documents. Just get the documents. Luckily here for Americans, you can come to Vietnam and you can get your documents here legalized and apostilled here. It may be a bit more costly. Once you get the job and you land here into Vietnam, the first thing that you're gonna go through is training. My training was 7 days long, where I learned all about how the classes are structured and exactly how they want us to teach, which was very beneficial to teach here, because a lot of countries and different companies, they all have different teaching styles. So it's always good to go and work for a company that actually gives you training of exactly how they want you to teach. Once you go through training and you pass the training, then you go into your center. My company has many different centers all around Vietnam. I was initially placed in Ho Chi Minh. You go into your center and you meet the people that you're going to work with. You observe a couple of classes, and then you get your own class, and that's it. If you're working at a language center, you're most likely gonna work evenings during the weekdays and all day on the weekends. So you'll have your entire morning off. You'll have your afternoon. My class doesn't start until 5:30 every day during the weekdays. So yeah, in terms of life-work balance, it's pretty good here in Vietnam. If you decide that you want to work at an international school, that's different. International school has the same school hours like back in the States. Now let's talk about money. You can be expected to make between $1,000 to $1,700 every month here, which is quite good to Vietnamese standards. And with your company, you only get paid for the time that you're in the classroom teaching. I know there's one company here that you get paid salary no matter how many classes you're teaching, but with my company, which I wish not to disclose online, you only get paid for the time that you're teaching. Basically meaning the time that you're in class and you have students in your class, you're getting paid. So the time that you're preparing your lessons or the time that you're grading exams, you are not getting paid for those hours. Only the time that you're in class teaching. What else? So with my company as well, you do not get paid for your holidays. So if you decide that you want to take a trip to Taiwan, China, any of the neighboring countries, you're not getting paid for that time. With my company, we're allowed to have approximately 1 month off for the entire year. So you can break that up. So you can take 1 week off here, 1 week off there, but just make sure that you're just to let you know that you're not going to get paid for that time. And international schools will pay about $2,000 to $2,300 here. Now when it comes to accommodation, Here in Vietnam, it's quite easy to find accommodation. You can find accommodation either going to a realtor that actually speaks English, or you can go to Facebook groups. I've lived in 2 different apartments now, and I found them both on Facebook groups. Each city, they have like an expat group where you can find apartments, or in Ho Chi Minh, they have tons of different groups, Facebook groups, where you can find accommodation. In terms of prices, in Ho Chi Minh, I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, not in a fancy or a well-known popular district. And for my 1-bedroom apartment, I paid $380. And currently I'm in Bien Hoa, where I have a 3-bedroom apartment. And Bien Hoa, it's about an hour away from Ho Chi Minh. It's a quiet little city. And for a 3-bedroom apartment, I am paying about 8 million dong. I can't think of the US equivalency to that, but I'll put it somewhere below, somewhere on the screen. So I pay 8 million for a 3-bedroom. So if you decide to come to Vietnam and you do not want to stay in the bigger cities, you will probably have a bit better in terms of accommodation if you leave the big city. In terms of transportation here, a lot of foreigners, they rent their own bikes, or they buy a scooter or a motorbike, or you can just take you can take transportation services such as Grab, Go Viet, which is similar to Uber back home, but with motorbikes. Actually, I take that back. Some countries like Kenya, they actually have Uber motorbike function. So yeah, it's similar to Uber. So you download the app. The app actually tells the driver exactly where you at, and you put in the address and you go. It's just basically just like Uber. So so that is very, very convenient for us foreigners. Most of the drivers, they do drive crazy here. Sometimes you'll find drivers who will be on the phone while they're in crazy traffic, or some drivers who will try to talk to you while they're trying to go through hectic traffic. You will even find drivers that get lost. So it all depends how your luck is that day. Now let's talk about life here. Life in Vietnam is pretty inexpensive. If you're a low budget traveler or a minimalist like me, you'll be able to save money. If you want a pho, which is Vietnamese national dish, if you don't know already, I am vegan. So whenever I buy pho chai, I pay 20,000 dong, which is less than $1, and it's quite filling. So you can eat a meal for $1 here. If you decide you want to eat international food such as Mexican, Indian, Thai food, it does get a bit more expensive. The best route always for me, if you're a budget traveler, is to actually go to a grocery store and buy all of your food and cook yourself. That's probably the best way. Here in Vietnam, most places are unhygienic. So don't expect to go into a restaurant and have the same clean standards as back home in America, or if you're from South Africa or you're from Europe. No, it's not going to be the same way. I used to go to this one place in Ho Chi Minh, and one time I asked to use their bathroom, and their bathroom was right next to the kitchen, and I looked into the kitchen and I was disgusted. It's really, really disgusting here. They're very unhygienic. So if you're creeped out by germs, cook your own meals, which is very, very easy if you're working at a language center. So now let's talk about food. Food here is very inexpensive if you're going to eat at local places. Most restaurants here, the bathroom is near the kitchen, so that's pretty unhygienic, and a lot of the restaurant, the local places, the family actually lives upstairs. So like literally they'll have their house upstairs and then the restaurant downstairs. So that was pretty weird coming here and seeing that. Also here, there's no tipping culture, so you don't have to worry about tips. And another thing that may be weird to you is if you go into a local restaurant, they'll bring you the menu and then they'll stand there thinking that you're ready to order. So they really don't give you time to look over the menu. They'll just stand there and you'll have to say, please give me 5 minutes or something. They just think that you know what you want and you're ready to order immediately as they give you the menu. So that may be a bit weird. But in terms, all in all, in conclusion, food here is pretty cheap. It's tasty. It's easy to find vegan, vegetarian food. There's a big Buddhist population here, so you can find vegan food. The vegan or vegetarian word is chai, but be careful. Chai just means vegetarian, not 100% vegan. So if you see something that looks like it has milk or egg, always ask. But if you're in a big city, there's tons of restaurants that have vegan restaurants. So, but they're a bit more pricey. So I would recommend going to chai places and just not getting stuff that looks like that has milk or eggs in it if you're a budget traveler like myself. Now, Vietnam as a foreigner. If you're a foreigner here, you are expected to be stared at. You're going to be stared at wherever you go, especially me being a person of color, being completely different to the Vietnamese people. You're going to be stared at. People will take photos of you without asking you. People will take videos of you without asking you. You're basically a celebrity here, and there's nothing much you can do about it. You can tell them no, and hope that resolves the problem. But yeah, it's a common occurrence in my everyday life. So that's something to be expected here. Another thing is, some places in Vietnam, if you're a foreigner, they do try to rip you off. They'll charge you a higher price because they know that you have the money. So that's another thing. But aside from that, the quality of life here is good. Like I said previously, a lot of places are very unhygienic. Sometimes the streets are very dirty. In Vietnam, there's a lot of pollution. And if you're vegan like me, in terms of animal rights, there aren't any animal rights here. And the dog meat industry is very, very big here. Especially in little towns, you'll see it more, where you'll see people have big dogs in really, really small cages where they're going to go and slaughter them to eat. If you're open-minded and you like an adventure, yes, it will be for you. If you're closed-minded and you don't like to be stared at, you just want a simple life and be left alone, and you're not very adventurous, I would say no, Vietnam is not for you. Vietnam is amazing, beautiful landscapes, good food. If you just want to get out and try something new, do it. Come to Vietnam if you want, or go somewhere else. Traveling has really, really opened my eyes to many different things, so I recommend anybody to travel. If you decide you want to go and take a 2-week trip somewhere, or you want to take a 1-week trip, or you decided you want to teach abroad for a year or two, do it. But definitely do your research. So I hope this video really, really helped you. And if not, if you have any questions, please leave them below. Like this video, subscribe to see more videos in the future, and thank you once again for watching. Bye.